Hello, I'm Gabriel and I'm here with my best mate Sam.
Hello.
So last year Sam and his two friends Jack and Joe walked from the top of Scotland to the bottom of England, climbing Ben Nevis, Scafell Pike and Snowdon along the way. During the space of this film, Sam and I will be talking about their journey over the footage he captured along the way. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoy the movie as much as we enjoyed making it.
And let's start. What's the crack? What are we doing?
Just smile. Right.
Just 5 minutes of us. Yeah, just
that was it.
So, here we are, top of Scotland.
Top of Scotland.
Very
indeed.
top of Scotland, literally. John O'Groats.
Yeah, so this is where we started our walk. We chose to do it north to south, finishing Cornwall, cider on the beach. I mean,
Yeah,
how
of
else
course,
would you
mate,
want to
of
finish
course.
a
Yeah, in the
1400 mile
summer in
journey?
Cornwall.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't blame you.
Yeah, very good shot.
Oh.
So tell us, Sam, how did you begin to prepare for the walk?
First thing we had to prepare was the actual route. That was my baby. It took me hours and hours.
I mean, it's a long route, that.
So there is actually a route out there for anyone interested in doing this walk. It's called the End-to-End Trail, published by
Someone. Yeah,
someone.
good. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it'll come to me.
End-to-End Trail. Yeah.
The book's called End-to-End Trail. It's a really famous book publisher. So they do have a Cicerone.
Wait, there we go.
Yeah. Cicerone have a published route, but theirs is south to north, and theirs don't include the 3-peak challenge. But this,
Just why not? Why not just do the 3-peak challenge on an insanely hard walk already?
I mean, it'd be too easy otherwise.
It would not be too easy otherwise.
No, it definitely wouldn't be too easy otherwise. But I've wanted to do this walk for so many years, and my vision for the walk always included the 3 highest points of England, Scotland and Wales. So
I don't know why.
yeah, so we used the End-to-End book.
Cheers, boys.
I used that to maybe plot 60% of our route. I used another book which was just flukily found, and it was a book called the Thirlmere Way. So I used that to get us from the Lake District to sort of the northwest of England, close to where me and Joe live. So that would be
And
sort
me.
of, and Gabriel, yeah. So that was that piece of the journey, and then for the rest of it, it was just finding all the national trails of the UK, and been through 8 of 15 national parks.
There's a couple of A roads.
A few A roads. I mean, it's pretty hard to avoid in this day and age. There's blooming roads everywhere you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope so.
I bet it is. There'll be so many routes up.
Nice.
That's it. Nice. Go on, finish right.
Oh!
What, any physical preparation did you? I'm pretty sure you went on a big night out just before the, like the day before you set off.
In terms of physical prep,
None.
pretty much. I mean, the one thing that me and the lads had going for us was we're all pretty active guys.
Well, you met on an outdoor leadership course.
Well, yeah, that's how I met Jack and Joe. I only actually met them 6 months prior to embarking on this quest, this journey.
Yeah, you didn't set off, you embarked. I mean, I met them twice?
Yeah, you met them
and
twice, and
yeah, really got on with them.
yeah,
Obviously,
really stellar guys. In terms of going back to the question, in terms of physical preparation,
None.
we didn't really do any.
Yeah.
We were just active, and we just sort of set off thinking we're going to be walking every day. We're eventually going to get fit enough to do it.
Yeah, 2 weeks in, you would have been used to the walk, into the journey. Maybe not the duration that you still had to go. I'm sure that was still settling in.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly got easier as the days went along. The more time we spent doing it, the fitter we all got.
And the mental?
Yeah, you still need to sort of mentally prepare yourself for something like this.
Obviously.
I'd probably argue that's just as, if not more important than the physical side of it. We all had that grit. You have to hate yourself a little bit, I suppose, because you're putting yourself through so much pain. I don't really want to use the word misery, but pain and misery.
Yes, of course it's misery. Wow, your bags look big there. What kind of weight were you carrying on the walk with you?
In Scotland, where we were having to take surplus amounts of food with us at all times, because it was literally days before we get to shops, we were carrying maybe 20 kilograms in our bags. That was probably the most extreme on the heavier side. And then on the lighter side, so the further south we got, the more shops we passed and the more regular appearances into civilizations we made. Probably about 14 was probably the lightest we ever got.
14 kilograms.
Which is not too bad. Not too
sounds
bad.
pretty bad to me.
On a day hike it'd be fine, but it's wearing that bag every day, putting on every morning, putting on after every time you take a break. It's probably the hardest part of the walk was the actual carrying the bag and the pack weight.
I imagine that's something that you did get used to as well, though.
Eventually.
But
I can't speak for the lads, but for myself, you don't really get used to the weight, you more get used to the pain.
Yeah.
As appealing as that would sound to anyone wanting to recreate this.
The pain.
But that's a big part of something like this, because you have to be a bit of a masochist to do something like
and
this.
That is what you are, yeah.
ever read any of the Electrider books, Jack?
I read a couple. You remember?
We had a rest day a couple days ago.
Alright. Yeah, they just take all.
Closer to Milngate, it's not quite as pretty, but this part of the journey is so nice.
Gotta learn how to fucking use it, man. What the f are you doing going back
I was
that
watching.
way?
I was like, it's worth.
Don't be pull one. Like we're gonna go in and get another 4.
Watch a bit of telly on your phones and what have you?
Yeah,
Cowboy
so
Bebop?
we had a couple of series we had on the go, on the walks. We watched a couple of movies on the phones, but again, it was always about battery management, so we'd only really do that if we knew we had a guaranteed plug socket coming up. So it wasn't sort of like a regular thing, but it was like a nice treat every now and again. We'd watch something.
Yeah. Freshly.
Freshly.
Lovely hedgerow. Proper hedgerow. Full of life and life.
So what food did you have then?
Generally, I mean, for myself, every single day, and the lads pretty much again every single day, we'd have porridge for breakfast. We'd actually cold soak our porridge, so just before we all went to bed,
It's nice that though.
Oh, cold soak porridge
It's
is
nice, right,
the way to eat porridge. It just makes it so creamy, and then I was a bit bougie with mine as well, so when we got to more civilizations, passing more supermarkets, I'd actually carry some like protein granola to get a bit of protein into my diet.
Nice, yeah, because you didn't get any of that.
Lunch, I'd normally have like a chocolate brioche, essentially something that...
You would have a chocolate brioche.
chocolate brioche,
Shiz.
plural.
What chocolate brioches?
But for myself, it was high calorie, low weight. You could literally scrunch them down to nothing.
Yes.
Really shove them in your bag. And then I'd just generally graze on raisins and nuts, and I'd always have yogurt bars in my bag. So I'd be grazing throughout the day. My lunch wasn't always substantial, but I was just continuously eating.
Yeah.
And then for our evening meal, we'd have... Well, it'd generally be either noodles, couscous. Then we'd try spice it up. Every now and again, we'd buy a block of cheese, mix that in with the pasta.
Nice, yeah.
I'd always put some fruit and nuts in my couscous. That was really nice.
Doesn't sound very nice, but that's just me.
And then we'd experiment with things.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it works really well, sometimes not well at all. I mean, you still ate all of it, even if it was disgusting. But it was always sort of like a running joke, if you will, of the walk. It would be every day we get to the point. It's like, so what are you having for tea tonight? And then it would be whichever flavour pasta we were having that day. It's like, oh, what flavour couscous are you having? What flavour pasta are you having? And it would just basically be a rotation of flavours and foods. Not a big rotation, but we did try to mix it up.
You did have Weatherspoons as well?
By the time we'd sort of got about 4 weeks into the walk, we'd really got down to a T when shops would put their reductions on. So if we ever saw a shop, it's like, right, boom boys, prime reduction times, let's go see what spoils of war we can get.
All the yellow stickers are out.
It's actually 7 PM.
Is it?
It's 7 PM, yeah.
It? Oh dear.
So
I missed them all.
Yeah, if we were passing a shop and it was the right time, we'd always pop in and see what goodies we could get on the cheap.
Getting better, man.
It's just us and Danny.
Yeah. Which way do we head tomorrow? Back down, back there.
Oh mate, it can't be a bit of
Growing
Motown.
up, going to the old family dudes, like, got all the soul. Should have bet so much. Damn. No. Well, like.
Oh, like the helicopters. Yeah.
Teeth on that.
Alright, proper food coma. I was just in a food coma. Yeah.
It was pretty fun. Just chatting away. But I did choose.
I might even either take pictures of or write down.
So tell us, what kind of things did you have to pack? We've already talked about your food, but what else did you take?
My pack, I had 2 sets of clothes, one of which was my dry, clean clothes, which I only wore when my other clothes were in the wash.
Yep.
And then I had my not so nice clothes, which I wore
Yep.
pretty much every single day for 110 days.
Yep.
I mean, we all got pretty nose blind to ourselves, but
Good.
I'm sure that
You
people could smell us as we
You
walked
would have
past them.
had to.
And then I did have some biodegradable sort of soap things, but they weren't very good, and I didn't really end up using them that much.
What, soap?
Yeah, essentially.
You didn't
yeah.
use soap. Cool.
Ba-
Yep.
basically,
good.
yeah.
Yep.
We did also take our toothbrushes and toothpaste,
Oh wow.
so at least
wow.
our teeth were clean.
It must have been the only place that was clean. Yeah.
And then also in my pack, I had my sleeping stuff, so that would be my tent, which, well, I don't. It feels wrong calling it a tent. It was my home.
It was your
I had my home, my sleeping bag. I had my blow-up mattress, and I had a sleeping bag liner. Also in the pack, I'd have all my cooking things, which included a little portable stove. I had my mess tin, which was basically my everything.
A bowl. A bowl.
I had a spork.
Fork. Nice.
I had
Bit of
a-
both. Best of both. Best of both.
Exactly,
Best of
exactly.
both, yeah.
Although I only ever really used a spoon.
Oh.
I always had a canister of gas, and usually a spare one with me. And then I also had a mug with me, so I took a mug with me too. And then also in my pack, you'd find my electrics, so portable chargers.
Yep.
So I actually took 2 with me. I had my backup one, which I only really used if I had to use, and then I had my main one, which also had a solar feature on it, which wasn't great, but it still worked. So then we'll have to celebrate. Not chucking it. I'm fucking gone.
Yeah, bastards.
Like I said, we're dead.
This is sick. Yeah. Nice. Go on. Yeah. Whoop.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the big bowl kind of is to the right of the big felt that long time pyramid there. Like.
What's your?
How did you plan your days?
Well, we basically planned our day around where we were going to camp. So we'd
So
sort
that
of,
was like your end goal of the day.
yeah, so at the start of every day we'd look at the map, we'd sort of count some distances on the map, count as many miles / kilometres we sort of was hoping to achieve that day, and then looking for the closest place that would be suitable to camp in. In terms of that, we'd always just look for like little pockets of woodlands or really expansive fields where we could just nestle into a corner of them, as flat as possible, looking for flat points on the map. But yeah, we'd always try to be as discreet as possible. We'd always try to stay out of the way, not to bother anyone. Because the whole part about wild camping is leaving no trace. That's the most important thing.
Me again.
You know, and you can go further afield to a bit more skill.
Cool little stubby ash tree. Don't the other day.
You had it, you had it.
Yeah.
I might just have some of that egg fried rice on that thing. Lou?
You know, Mugen.
Yeah, I was. Trying to.
Nice.
Try it again.
Especially not that now that.
Is it left ear jack or?
It's like being on ice skate.
Yeah, I must admit it was slippy, the basin in the thingy.
Yeah. There's a couple of little damp bits, but apart from that, it's.
On the dot, like, not even joking, to the point. So it's been so surprising, it took me up 20 minutes.
Other than your tents, did you stay anywhere else on the walk?
Over the course of the walk, we spent 5 nights in campsites. We spent 13 nights on a mattress. We spent 10 nights in buffies, and then we did 82 nights wild camping.
82.
Which is a lot.
It's a lot.
I mean, we like I say, our tents were our homes. We love this kind of thing. It wasn't too much of a challenge, the wild camping side of it.
Flipped on.
Yeah, we did one in France.
They're good fun.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm in the Tea Party Island anyway. What are you having, Sam? yo, get round here, bro. Yo, get round here.
Oh, could you hear the motorway?
Yeah.
It was the planes I worked out. I couldn't. Nah, it'll take all of about 2 days. I'll go home, see all the. I do like mussels.
Garlic and white wine. Come on.
So go on, Sam. Tell us about the weather.
Well, the year that we so happened to set off on this journey, to be like one of the driest summers that the UK's had.
Oh, it's the hottest summer on record.
Yeah, the hottest summer on record, quite literally. You all need to recycle more.
What? Okay, move on, yep.
I think we maybe had 14 days of wet throughout the entire day.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got super lucky. On the flip side of that, hiking in very, very hot weather all day, every day, proved to be a real challenge. And make sure we always have water with us. Constantly really smelly because you're just sweating constantly.
I mean, you were smelly when it was cold, so you were
Yeah,
smelly when it was
exactly.
hot.
Yeah, yeah. The heat was a real challenge in itself, but can't complain because I'd choose hiking in the heat over hiking in the rain any day.
Touch wood, yeah.
But
Yeah, camping, like...
Oh, exactly.
It might have been too hot in your tent at the time, but it's better than being too cold, too wet.
Precisely. Yeah.
Like, you're talking athlete's foot, you know, is it trench foot? Talking, well, it'd be horrible.
It's just having horrible feet.
And like to say, with no time restrictions, if it was too hot and you got too tired, too dehydrated, you could have taken the rest. You could have filled up your water, had a nice drink, had a nice chill out, and then set off again.
Exactly. I mean, the beautiful thing about walking in the heat as opposed to the rain is it's always easier to find shade than it is to find cover, rain cover.
I mean, when I saw you, you all had a decent tan anyway, so I'm sure that wasn't on one of your concerns.
It was.
Topping up your tans.
Oh, that's the only reason we did it together.
Let's see, of course it is, yeah.
All good?
Hygiene. What did you do about showers? And what did you do about cleaning yourself? When I met you, I think you said you hadn't showered for like 24 days.
I mean, showers were very few and far between.
Very few and far between.
Not actually worked out how many we had on the walk.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You could count it on your fingers.
Most definitely.
Most definitely.
We were so nose blind. We weren't really bothered about how we smelled.
No one else was, but at least
It was more just sort of to not feel all sweaty and horrible. So we'd always... The lads more so than I, because they're brave and I hate being cold. rivers, lakes, lochs, the sea, basically any water we could find, especially during the heat waves. We were just getting in the water just to wash the sweat off, if nothing else. And that made up most of our bathing. So we weren't showering, but we were going
You
in
were cleaning
water.
yourself, you're going in water, you were cleaning yourself. I mean, it didn't make too much of a difference, as I found out twice.
And then in terms of washing our clothes, we maybe was washing our stuff once a fortnight. If we were somewhere and there was a laundrette, we'd use the laundrette to wash our clothes.
I mean, yeah, that's a big part. Because obviously, you can go into the water, you can clean yourself with loads of soap, but if you're putting the same dirty, wet, smelly clothes on, you just wouldn't feel clean at all.
See that with you boys?
Yeah.
Aye, family you choose, my friend. By terms of actually being in Wales, I think
In Wales.
I think we'd been in Wales for 2.
Fire the pig, you know.
Oh yeah.
But that, 'cause that sticks out that way.
Yeah, you found him? Sorry, can I just
Flipping about smoking.
Yeah.
See if he sorted us out.
So, go on, how much money do you reckon you spent? I know you went into it with a plan of £1 per day, which is insane.
Financially, all I will say, however much you'll think you're going to budget, just anticipate spending 3 times that. You need savings to do something like this.
Yeah.
Because you can do it on a budget, but it's already hard.
Yes, you don't want to be.
And
that's an extra stress that you just don't need.
Yeah, precisely. That's stress you don't need. And when you're down, it's like, I'll have a pint, or even just buying a bar of chocolate. That can be the difference between feeling pretty crummy or feeling pretty good. Just a bit of sugar. That can make a world of a difference in your mood. just little luxury sort of food and drink items can really make the difference between happy or sad on this
It's a
walk.
morale booster, you know, you're there, you're starving, you've only eaten couscous or pasta for the last 2 weeks.
Precisely, yeah.
See a Weatherspoons, you think, ooh.
Yeah, exactly. A nice big Weatherspoons meal, or even just going to a shop and getting there at the right time on the reductions.
7
then
PM, yeah.
You can budget, but just always expect to spend more, because if you actually want to enjoy something like this, not just do it, but actually want to enjoy it, you have to accept that you're going to spend money to do it.
I was like, oh, the other ones were just pinged up in the air and dropping. I thought you were grabbing these fucking buds or whatever.
Way. Up the hill.
Yeah.
It was literally all the way at the top of the hill.
I mean, it'd be alright, but I have no ambitions to go back to work, to be quite honest.
Line! Oh, bad throw, sorry mate.
Further down, Joe. Further down. Further down. Further down the body. Further down the body. Underneath the body, Joe.
What was your experience like with other people?
Essentially, people are just really nice, and
Yeah.
when they hear what you're undertaking,
I mean,
and
it's an incredible feat for you.
yes, it's the feat of it, and then the fact that it's for a good cause too. Most people are happy to help, whether that's a free pitch at a campsite or...
Well, it's like when I met you in Northumbria, you know, all lads turning up to a random place, like, in the middle of nowhere. People are kind of, like, questioning, like, what are you doing? And as soon as you said, well, we're doing this walk, they'd be like, right, yeah, fair enough, okay, yeah, fair enough, yeah, is there anything I can do for you? You know, can I make you a brew? Can I get you some food?
We were just shown nothing but kindness along the way, and I can't thank everybody along the way who helped us on our journey enough.
Nice and flat fields to park out in there.
Will do.
Get in the push! and everyone knows him as a hero. You never think of some little scrawny kid.
No,
I've gone on the floor.
I kind of enjoyed that. It was like
I'm committed to it anyway.
I feel like sometimes it can be quite.
cashews are the best naked.
Exactly, yeah. They make you work for it.
Build it.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. Very emotional.
Wow, this is the weirdest friendship I've ever had.
How long have I known you?
Instructor, we have time!
This is my egg! Oh shit! There's a rainbow!
The fruit there.
Yeah, you can't have any of that.
Not that kid.
Yeah. It's literally millions. Like the rebar that they put in to build modern buildings, that's what them pillars look like.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So.
I'm not saying you shouldn't, I'm saying I shouldn't. No, everyone's different. Yeah, I think it's all full of obnoxious fun.
Don't suppose going up left skirts this next up and down, does it, by any chance?
But after we took that off, walk along the thing here, then I think
Surely the place will like, I mean, it has to go up there, doesn't it? At the end of the
It doesn't go up there. That's an island.
hopefully they can hold out a bit longer.
So now the walk is coming to an end. You've been walking for ages and ages. How are you feeling?
I mean, the walk did get tough towards the end. I think we were all in the sort of same mental state where it's like, we're ready for this to be over now.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Just craving sort of home comforts and just being able to put fresh socks and boxers on. Just like the
any
things
normal person.
just things that you don't think about in day-to-day life. But then again, equally towards the end, it sort of flipped and it was like, oh my god, I can't believe this is over.
Going back to normal life.
Yeah, going back to normal life. But it's
Been
like,
a bum
I don't
for
know
the
if
last 110 days.
I don't know if we can go back to normal life now. And
But yeah, no, oh mate, well done. Yeah, it's a hell of a feat.
yeah, thank you. It was a whirlwind, and I wouldn't have changed anything for the world.
Of course.
And then also the money we raised as well.
Yes.
Was,
yeah, of course.
That was a nice little bonus to support something that we all support, if you will.
Yeah.
And then we raised so much money for. We were over 2,000. I think it was £2,200 we raised in the end, which was
Nicely done.
it was a really nice bonus. Like the fundraising became like a big part of it. It was a real treat to walk the island. I have such a deeper appreciation and love for where I live now. Yeah, it would have been.
Why the fuck have we done this? All that white.
We've come from John O'Groats.
I know.
Yeah.
Right, who's got the mobile?
It's just this one here, mate.
Come on! I'm Joe Gibson, and this is the Great British Adventure.
Chin, lad, chin, chin, here we go.